Okay, let's start.
Just let's point our finger. There's a poll going around. If you can just answer the 3 simple questions, that would help us. Thank you very much. This, our export sales manager, will be presenting today our new development, Unicare. It's a EMS and TENS device that we've recently launched. So again, if you have any questions, do send them to the Q&A chat or ask in person at the Q&A session after this presentation. I hope you will enjoy. Good luck with this.
Yep. Thank you, Lisa.
Yeah.
Okay, so hello everyone. Welcome back to the Unicare webinar. My name is Ediz Gozil, and today I'm going to talk about our newest pelvic floor exercise, Unicare. I'm sure you're going to like this product, and I will also try to tell you more about how EMS, which means electrical muscle stimulation, has been used to strengthen pelvic floor muscles in women and men. If you have any questions, please type them to the chat button below. After we've finished, we will try to answer all of your questions. So let's start with introduction of the Unicare. Unicare is the new pelvic floor exercises from us. The powered muscle stimulator combats bladder leakage and incontinence by strengthening the pelvic floor muscles. Unicare provides relief from conditions such as urinary and fecal incontinence, including stress, urged, and mixed incontinence, as well as post-prostatectomy urinary incontinence in men. The brand new period pain program also offers drug-free relief from secondary menstrual pain, while stimulation can have further benefits, including empowered sexual intimacy, and in the case of anal stimulation in men, recovery from some causes of erectile dysfunction. As you can understand, Unicare is not just a pelvic floor exerciser, it's a combination of 2 units in one device. The unit is using both TENS and EMS therapy for these treatment methods. Today, I'm only going to talk about how EMS is working with the Unicare, but tomorrow my colleague Amna is going to talk about how TENS therapy also works in Unicare. So, Unicare sends a gentle stimulation, which is similar to your nerve impulses, directly to your pelvic floor muscles through a vaginal probe with stainless steel electrodes. These signals make your pelvic floor muscles contract. The treatment builds strength in your pelvic floor muscles, helping you to develop muscle control and prevent and treat the symptoms of incontinence. Unicare has 5 preset programs, which are stress, urge, mixed, tone, and pain. The 4 of them, stress, urge, mix, and tone, use the EMS, and the pain program using the TENS therapy for the treatment. So the features of the device, new design of Unicare, it enhances more ergonomic and lightweight user experience. I will also introduce how to use the device in my next slides, but for now, I'm going to talk briefly about the specifications of the product. Unicare also has a rechargeable battery. It lasts for 15 hours in the normal usage, and you can easily charge it from your computer via USB or from a traditional adapter. It can take around 2 hours to fully recharge the unit, and it lasts for 15 hours. The device has also memory function, which also tracks the total usage of the device. And when you turn on the device, it opens with the last program you have been used before. And with the adjustable treatment timer feature, you can set the session times of continuous or 10, 20, 30, 45, 60, or 90 minutes sessions. You can also adjust them from the unit. So this is the general lookout of the Unicare. The most common question that you can hear from your customers is how to turn on the unit. So to do this, you need to push and hold your finger in the right side of the button of the device for 3 to 5 seconds. And if you want to turn the unit off, you need to first push the down button to unlock the keypad. Then you can also press the side button for 3 to 5 button again to turn off the machine. Okay. Later on, once the device has been opened, it normally starts with the stress mode. So when you fully recharge and open the device, it always starts with the main stress mode. After you used turn turn off on, it starts with the last program that you have been used. And if you want to change the program, you just need to press this program control button to change the product, program. And after you have selected which program you are going to use, you can also choose the session time. Normally, the preset programs has like 20 minutes or continuous mm, session times, but you can also adjust to yourself if you want to feel them more. And you can use this by pressing the treatment timer button, and just it has been changed the time of the machine from the end. You can also see from the backlit USB. So, so for now, I'm gonna show you a little bit unboxing video, and later on I will talk about how the content of the kit and the accessories of the product. I hope you can hear this. So yes, so this is the how the contents of the product are. You have seen the unboxing video. The Unicare kit contains one Unicare unit. It comes with one Go gel, to feel more, and one lead wire, one Liberty Loop vaginal probe with detachable pointer, one 50 by 90 electrode pads, so one charging adapter, one detachable belt clip, one storage pouch, and instructions manual. So in Liberty Loop probe, in the standard boxing, the unit comes with the probe with stainless steel electrodes. But if we have like sensitive skin or like any allergic reactions to this, you can also buy separately our golden probes with pointer. The advantage of using a pointer is to show the patient that they are making the treatment right. When performed correctly, the pointer will move downwards, and when performed incorrectly, the pointer will move upwards. And the reason we have put the 50 by 90 electrode pads is also you can use the electrodes in the pain mode for the menstrual pain. And if you don't want to use the probe, you can also place the electrodes in the some parts of your body, and you can also use the device with this. And before I continue, I also want to introduce you what is a pelvic floor muscle. We have a short video of it and to show you.
The pelvic floor floor is the base of the group of muscles referred to as your core. These muscles are located in your pelvis and stretch like a hammock from the pubic bone at the front to the tailbone at the back and from side to side. They support the bladder, bowel and uterus, and play an important role in bladder and bowel control and sexual function. If your pelvic floor muscles don't work well, you may leak when you do things like coughing, sneezing, lifting, laughing, or exercising. To stop this from happening, you need to switch on your pelvic floor muscles. To switch on the pelvic floor muscles, you need to squeeze and draw in the muscles around your vagina, as if you are trying to stop the flow of urine. Lift them up inside. Breathe normally. Don't hold your breath or tighten your buttocks. Then let go and relax the pelvic floor muscles completely. Notice as you tighten and lift your pelvic floor muscles, they tighten and close around the anal passage, vagina, and urethra. By exercising the pelvic floor regularly, you will train your muscles to work automatically when they are needed.
The floor of your pelvis is made up of layers of muscles that support your bowel, bladder, urethra, and uterus. These muscles are like a hammock or the bottom and sides of a bowl in shape. They run from the pubic bone in the front and to the end of the spinal column in the back. And the pelvic floor muscles assist in supporting the abdominal and pelvic organs, work with the abdominal and back muscles to stabilize and support the spine. It provides you support for the baby during the pregnancy and assists in the birthing uh, process. Pelvic floor muscles are also important for the sexual functions, but however, pelvic floor muscles may become weak. If your pelvic floor muscles become stretched or weakened, your pelvic floor organs may no longer be fully supported, and you may also lose control of your bladder or your bowel movements. So that causes the incontinence. The incontinence doesn't have to be happening by the age. It can happen in any time in any age. So incontinence is any accidental or involuntary loss of urine from the bladder or from a bowel motion. It ranges in severity from just a small leak to a complete loss of bladder on bowel control. And over 80% of women are suffering from this, which we've never chosen to talk about it. But and also there are three types of incontinence, which is stress, urge, and mixed incontinence. So the stress incontinence, it occurs during the activities that increase the abdominal pressure, which is like coughing, sneezing, laughing, lifting heavy objects, or doing a physical activity. This is the most common form of urinary incontinence, and it affects around 85 to 90% of women who has incontinence. And urge continence type, it occurs when you need to urinate comes on so quickly that you think you might be failed in the bathroom at time. This is also known as like an overactive bladder. And as I told you before, it can affect anyone at any age, but it appears to be more prevalent in the elderly people. Mixed on incontinence, it's a combination of both stress and urge incontinence. So how does EMS work to treat pelvic floor muscles? Before I continue on this, let me just explain briefly about how the EMS is working. To treat incontinence, Unicare is using EMS as a therapy method in the four different modes: stress, urged, mixed, and tone. EMS stands for the electrical muscle stimulation and has successfully been used in the medical rehabilitation and training in competitive sports. EMS produces intensive and effective muscular contraction. EMS training is performed through electrodes and probes that are placed different parts of your body. Small electrical impulses has been sent to your muscle, which mimics the action of the central nervous system, activating the muscles and contracting them in the same way, but using external impulses. These impulses can reach deep muscle layers, which are harder to activate through the normal training. The effect of the impulses causes the muscles to work harder, but with less and less work. And electrical muscle stimulators like Unicare can play a vital role in educating women and men about their pelvic floor and the sensation that they should feel when they doing pelvic floor exercises. So electrical stimulation works much like ordinary exercises. So in low frequencies, which means 10 to 20 hertz, it's like exercising in small weights with high repetition, and this builds endurance. So Unicare is using this low frequency in urge and mixed therapies. And the higher frequency, which means 35 to 60 hertz, it's like big weights exercising with big weights with low repetition. It builds fast strength. And Unicare using this on stress, mixed, and tone. So Unicare also has pulse widths around 100 and 300 US. Generally speaking, the higher the pulse width, the more aggressive the stimulation feels. As we can see on the chart here, the preset programs has been designed with the correct ratio to prevent fatigue on the muscles. Because if you work them all the time, you might feel the fatigue by time. So in this slide, I will also try to explain what can you feel during the sessions. So in the stress, the stimulation causes the muscles to contract and work, thereby building their strength. The sensation of this program is like a strong drawing in of the vaginal muscles and pulling up of the pelvic floor. Your natural reaction will be to pull in and up with your muscles. And in urge program, it reduces the involuntary contractions of the pelvic floor muscles. The pulling in sensation is longer and softer than in the stress program. So urge program is a little bit different than the stress. Not because it is designed to suit your bladder muscles rather than exercising your pelvic floor. And mixed, it's again using both stress and urge programs, but in the first, the session will be in total 20 minutes, but in the first 10 minutes, it uses the urge program to reduce sensitivity. Then in the second 10 minutes, the stress program exercises the pelvic floor muscles. You may need to increase the strength to feel muscle contraction when the stress program has been once started. And in the tone, so when you when you are sure that you don't have any leak or you don't have any thing to do, then you can just use this tone mode to strong drawing of the muscles, and you can just continue using them to keep the stability of your muscles. But how often should we use them to prevent to start success? Like other fitness trainings, successful training requires stimulation just around once a day, around 20 minutes of session. And evidence suggests that 4 sessions and 7 sessions a week will produce a similar results. But it's best to establish a fixed routine, and compliance is the biggest problem in here. But of course, overuse the machine has also caused you some itching muscles, and you you cannot use the device if you have any pacemaker in your body, if you are thinking that you are pregnant, if you are pregnant, if you have any active or suspected cancer, and please do not use the device whilst it's charging. And frequently asked questions from our customers that I can tell you for now. They normally claim to us what is the best program for me, but it depends on the person. So the treatment is should be unique for everybody. So if you think you have a stress incontinence, and you need to use the stress, but it depends and unique for each person. And how often should I use the machine for stress, for urge? You need to use it at least 4 times per week. It can be daily if you prefer, but not more than once per day. And how long before I expect to see results? It also depends on your muscles, so how weak or how strong they are. And if they are a little bit stronger, you can feel the results in 2 weeks. Someone can feel the success in 8 weeks, but typically it will start after the 4th week. Should I need to combine the use of the machine with exercises? It's entirely up to you. You could do the Kegel exercise too. Once you feel comfortable with the machine, you can join and squeeze when you feel the electrostimulation is coming from the probe. And should I carry on using the machine once I can hold my bladder? Yes. Remember that your pelvic floor muscles are like any other muscles. So if you stop using it, then your muscles could get weaker again. Therefore, we recommend continue using the tone program to keep tonic muscles. And do I need to use the probe for this to work? It's again up to you, but it's better with the probe. But if you don't want to use the probe, you can also use the 50 by 50 electrodes, and you can place in the different parts of your body, which has been shown in the menu. Like, if you want, I can also share this after the presentation. So thank you very much for listening to me. Later I'm going to hand over the presentation to our product development manager. He's Han Weiling, and he's going to talk more about the Unicare.
Thank you very much. It was another really insightful presentation. I hope you guys have learned again a little bit today, and we will have a Q&A session after Hanwei's presentation, so you can ask anything related to the product, related to the data that we have shared with you. So Elise, thank you very much, and Hanwei, it's off to you right now. So it's Hanwei will present our design thinking when we normally work on products. What do we consider how we built our products, what sort of insights we have into the user experience as well. Hanwei, it's you.
Thank you very much, Lisa. Thank you, Dees, and thank you everyone that has spoken already before me today. I'm going to try my best to be as interesting and engaging as they have been. So yeah, my name's Hanwei. I am the product development manager at TensCare. I'm part of the team that was tasked with the design and the development of Unicare. So what we're going to do today, I'm going to show you the official Unicare product video. But before we do that, what my plan is to just briefly discuss the design and development process of Unicare and kind of what we did and why we did what we did. So as with all TensCare products, the design of Unicare was very much focused on the user. We put an emphasis on trying to develop a sophisticated and high quality solution, but making sure that it was affordable, intuitive, and easy to use. And so as we know, the Unicare uses programs and protocols that not only clinically tested, but as we've heard earlier from our speakers, user approved. So it's really important for us as a design team to try and reinforce that level of safety and effectiveness through the actual physical design of the product. We believe if we do this, we can help the user or the customer feel confident and comfortable. We're confident that we have achieved that through the design of the Unicare. So taking a user-focused design approach, it was really important for us to understand, who our target market was. It's not just the older population, as we've seen today, but also, the younger generation who suffer from bladder leakage and endometriosis. So the design specification of Unicare needed to consider both of their needs, and we needed to create a solution that would appeal to both and both would engage with. So during the process, we iterated numerous times with the designs, the CAD models and physical prototypes to really try to attempt to optimize various aspects of the product. And it's subtle details that a lot of people won't really notice unless it's been done badly, that we kind of pay attention to make sure the user experience is as satisfying as possible. So we did a lot of testing on the positioning and the sizing of the buttons, how easy they were to press, and the actual kind of curvature of the device as well, to try and create something that really fit well in the hand, was easy to use, but at the same time was very discreet as well. And then another key aspect of the development was the safety and quality compliance of the device. So, with the help of our excellent quality and assurance team, we couldn't have done it without them. Unicare has been designed to comply with the medical electrical device safety standards and is also ISO 13485 compliant. And then finally, the device is also IP22 compliant as well. So this basically means it has the necessary level of protection against water. So in summary, we think the Unicare is a real step forward in the design of TenseCare products, and we believe it's the start of a new era of products in which we will look to continuously improve, to innovate, and really offer better solutions to our users. But anyway, enough from me. Let's watch the Unicare video, which hopefully will be a nice summary of what we've seen and heard today. Thank you all for listening today. I believe Lisa will now start the Q&A session.
Yes, I just will need a few minutes just to let everyone into this room. Bear with us. Whilst I'm doing that, I just wanted to say once again, thank you very much to all the presenters. Thank you for sharing your stories, your knowledge, your expertise and experience of using products of electrotherapy in general, of data that you've researched and put together for everyone to learn from. I hope everyone has enjoyed, has learned something new, and it was an insightful and motivational hour and a half. If you have any questions, please do ask them. We'll try to also discuss a few that we have received from our customers, and we hope to be finishing in probably about 15 minutes. So everyone is here. And Marty, maybe whilst everyone is joining in, maybe you can just talk about tomorrow's webinar as well. That would be great.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Just to let you know that we will have a webinar tomorrow at 11 a.m. We'll be focusing on the pain relief function of Unicare when it comes to treating period pain and endometriosis. You can follow the same link to register for tomorrow's webinar if you haven't done so already. We look forward to welcoming you tomorrow, and please feel free to ask any questions that you have now. Thank you.
Whilst everyone is being a bit shy to start with, I think, Rina, you had a couple of questions that customers have asked about continence in general. Maybe you can just start us off. Or was it Corna? One of you has
I have a question to start off. If you have a contraception device like a Miranda, are you still able to use the Unicare product?
Anyone? I've seen Andrew Brown. Would you?
Yes, no problem. We spoke to the manufacturers on the Mirena coil, and they said it didn't affect the release of the hormones in the coil. We've looked at copper loop IUDs, and at one time we had that as a contraindication, but we really can't see any way it could be a risk. The copper would have to be outside of the womb for it to contact the electrode, and it shouldn't be there. So we don't think there's any risk of that. So the answer is yes, safe.
Good.
Yeah, I had a question from one of my customers as well. That was, what is the best way to use the detachable pointer with the Liberty Loop probe? How does it work?
The pointer on the probe, you would insert it so the pointer is coming upwards. And what it does is when your pelvic floor contracts, the pointer will point downwards. And then when you release, it will come back up again. So what it's for is so you can see the muscles working in real time. Whereas if you just had the probe inserted, you can feel it, but you don't necessarily get a visual. And it helps some people, especially when trying to train themselves to do the exercises unaided. It can help to see at what point the tensing is happening.
And actually to know you're contracting the right muscles, because it's easy to squeeze your buttocks and suck your tummy in and not get your pelvic floor moving. Yeah.
Cool, thanks guys, I'll pass that on.
I also just wanted to add to that, I know some of our customers have actually used the muscle stimulation, electrical muscle stimulation with the Liberty Loop probe, the one that is with attachment, and then going forward, once they have restored the strength of the pelvic floor muscle, they were able to also practice just with the probe without the muscle stimulation. Again, that pointer helped them understand whether they are contracting the muscles without the electrical stimulus, and that proved to be as well effective. So it's kind of another benefit to that probe and the device in general as well.
I got one question as well, was what type of probe can I use as well? As you know, our machine Unicare includes this Liberty Loop probe. However, you can use any other probe that is suitable for you. As you understand, any muscle can be bigger or smaller. So depending on as well on the size of your pelvic floor muscles, you can find as well the probe that will suit you better. So we have as well a different range that we can share as well later. But of course, the Unicare comes with a more ergonomic version that we feel that is more compatible with most of the women.
Good. Does anyone have any questions to our guests, Andrea and Katri, just to put them on the spot once again?
I have a question for Andrea. In terms of user, if I want to use it, is there any specific time of the day when I could use it, like to get the best out of the machine?
Sorry, I got cut. I couldn't hear you. Can you repeat it, please?
So in terms of like using the machine, is there any specific time of the day that you can use it? So like when you are like, what time in your experience, how did you find which is the best time for you to use the machine?
I normally use it in the evening, just before going to bed, but I think it's just a preference. It's when I stop. I don't think you need to worry too much about time. It's more about what is better adapted to your day life, you know, to a routine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes I'm there watching TV and watching Netflix, and the device. I just go get it and I use.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And if I have time, I use it for a longer time. So you can choose. It's up to you. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
I just wanted to ask as well, Katri. Katri, you obviously have worked a lot with women, being part of the Women's Health Clinic. How did you find, what is the best way to start the conversation? Being direct and asking whether they leak, or going sort of round ways? What was best? Because obviously we all know it's a really difficult topic to talk to, and then it takes time for people to open up. Sometimes still prefer not to be discussing this, thinking, well, that's just normal part of aging. So what do you do, and what do you think works best in this regard?
Yeah, as a therapist, my clients already come in with their problems, so they are very open and they are seeking for help. So it's up to me, and of course up to them to choose the therapy. Either they want to do the exercises, or if the pelvic floor is either very weak, they can't really find the muscles. So I always suggest TenseCare devices, what I also represent here. And I find, at least here in North Europe, the topic is very, I would say women are talking about it. It's not like the dinner table conversation, of course, but women among each other, they are discussing this issue. And it's not only leakage, it's also pain, as you will discuss tomorrow. It's different conditions what you can have with pelvic floor. So I do get clients who are like, oh, I first heard about it. I first got to know that there is a solution for leakages or pain or different conditions. So I guess it just depends on circles or with whom you are mostly communicating.
Good. Yeah, thank you very much for that. And then the question to you both, to you and Andrea, you are, like I said at the start of this webinar, you are very good friends of ours, customers of ours. You're absolutely amazing advocates of electrotherapy stimulation to treat incontinence. So how do you promote? What do you think works best? Obviously you sell products as well in your countries, Brazil, Estonia. How do you promote products? What women are looking for? How do we get that message across to them, marketing wise? That could be helpful for our distributors as well. So sharing the experiences of what works best in your market. I know, Andrea, you're doing quite a lot on social media, and Katri, you've been involved in writing articles and talking about this. So what actually, in your experience, works best?
This is, I guess it's always difficult to say what is the best. I've been trying different platforms, different approaches, using social media, using magazines, using I also did a podcast a couple of years ago. This was actually working very well. It was still the time where there were not so many podcasts, so it was good timing. Nowadays, I find just being present in and coming up on first in searches works very, very good. And just being present and just being reliable person or a therapist to whom people can turn to. I guess this is something what always is necessary and important.
What about you, Andrea? What works in Brazil?
At the moment, I am finishing a website, okay, totally dedicated to the pelvic floor. So I talked to this person who is specialized in marketing, and she suggested me to be branding. So I'm trying to concentrate, because before I was with a website that was talking about portable devices. So there were too many devices, too many options. And at this point now, I'm trying to focus on the pelvic floor solution and talk about this subject and be more specific. The more specific I become, I believe, more interesting and easier to be found as well. And I'm planning to do some a landing page with a video, and where I show also witnesses. Testimonies are very important. It's not easy to find people who want to talk about it. Although they like the device, although they say thank you to me quite often, they are very happy with the device, but they don't want to talk about it. So when I find somebody, I ask, and quite a few send to me some videos. This is very important because it's the result of the work. So so you can show people that somebody use it, that person had that problem, the problems are different, the ages are different, all sorts of different kinds of style of life. Each person has a story. So when they share it with somebody else and they say, yes, I had this and that, and because of the device, thanks to the device, actually, I've changed my life. So people feel that they can also change their lives. And these days I see lots of people marketing in the social media, and there is an image of somebody. So have the image of someone talking about something and showing that device or that whatever changed that person's life. That's very important. People are looking for that. That's what I feel. So I'm going to try to focus more on this, and really concentrate my business into the pelvic floor area and solutions, all sorts of products and solutions for that. So I believe this is a good way to do it. And of course, always online, because of COVID, we end up staying at home using laptops, phones all the time. So people are much more connected to their devices than to other people. So that's how we should work, I believe, lots of social media and concentrating in branding.
Good. Thank you.
Yeah.
As many of you know, we have done a webinar on how actually electrostimulation works for rehabilitating the pelvic floor muscle. You can view that online on our YouTube channel. That was presented by Julia Herbert. That was a November presentation on muscle stimulation for continence treatment. So if you're interested, just visit our YouTube channel and have a refresher view of that video, of that presentation. Are there any more questions?
I would like to ask you about probes, because I found that probe which go with Unicare is that people, because you add that probe with perfect PFA, and people prefer more previous one, old one, vaginal probe, simple one. What is advance of that probe, what loop probe, instead of pointer which show how do you, what is that point?
From a user perspective, Snejana, I think that the Liberty Loop probe, the one that comes with the Unicare device, is perceived a bit smaller, and because it's not hollow, it has that sort of just two sides of it. Just women think, well, that is a lightweight, it's safer to use. However, size-wise, they're the same. It's just an effectiveness as well. The loop probe has that pointer that indicates the stimulation is happening. So for some users that have a really weak muscle, pelvic floor muscle, and don't feel the stimulation, that gives them another reassurance that the device is actually working. So seeing the pointer moving upwards and downwards, it seems to be a benefit just from a user perspective.
Yeah.
On technical terms, I think Andrew can probably comment.
I think the main thing about the loop is that it helps it stay in position. Okay, with the cylindrical one, we had people talking about them falling out, and the loop lets the muscle fall down into the loop and hold it in position. And it also, we think, gives you better electrical contact on the electrodes, because the tissues are pushed out and sideways, they're pushed against the electrodes. So you've got a better contact on the electrodes and it doesn't fall out. So that's the theory. No one's done any much research to find out whether that's actually the case, but that's the, and it's the most popular one in the UK by far. It's something like 90% of users in the UK use that design of electrode.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
But Snejana, this product could be used with a different probe as well. So if you have customers, like we've said earlier, it can be used with a different size probe, a different. We also have a gold-plated probe for hyperallergic people.
I exactly did with perfect PFE because I bought another probe and change and just ask which you prefer, and I gave them opportunity to choose which one they want. Yeah. But no, I wanted to know what is it. What is the real difference between that instead of shape? But Andrew gave me answer. Okay, it's some improvement in the main point, improvement and better connection with muscle, and it is. I understood it is a point of that.
Good.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for your question as well, Snejana. Any more questions? Q&A? No, in Q&A it's just thank you notes, but you're welcome. We hope you enjoyed. If there are no more questions, I just wanted to say a big thank you to the 10SK team for preparing for this webinar and obviously for hosting it today, and to all our guests for being with us. Like Maddie said, there will be another webinar tomorrow that will be focusing on the TENS programs of the same device, and we will be discussing endometriosis and dysmenorrhea. If you are free at 11 AM, please do join us again. I hope you will find again quite a lot of interesting facts that we have prepared for you. We will have a guest tomorrow, Dr. Manisha Uttam-Soy, She's a very well recognized neurologist and physiotherapist, so she'll be presenting an interesting information on effectiveness of TENS in treating dysmenorrhea and endometriosis. So please do join us. If you cannot make it tomorrow, get in touch with our sales team. We will send links to our YouTube channel so you can view that at your convenience. Thank you, and I hope to see you all tomorrow and in the near future as well.
Thank you.
Thanks for the time today. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Bye.
Good, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Thanks, Andrea. Thanks, Katri.
Thank you, Lisa.
Snejana, it was
Bye.
really nice seeing you, Snejana and Dorit.
Yes, was
Daniel.
nice.
Bye. Take care.
You too. Bye.